I just heard something from the woods. Alright, so we are heading back up towards the Blue Ridge area because we have both gotten so intrigued and so consumed with this story that we found the opposing sides community. So we're gonna go see what's left. Apparently there's a church and a couple of the homesteads, but they're private residents now. So maybe we can drive by and take a couple pictures. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think, Tommy?
Like I always say, we end up going back to the same place because there's more to the story that we didn't know. So we end up going back.
I think I sort of stumbled on to the reason why the feud started. I'm not real sure, but I mean, I'll tell you about it when we get up there, but I think I did, maybe, but I think there was more to it also, but we'll see. And we might get rained out, because...
No, we're going. We don't care if we get rained out, we're going.
Well, I mean, we're going, but we might get rained on.
I don't know. I think we'll be all right.
It's a gray day. It's still pretty though. Everything's bright green, even though the sky is gray and gloomy to match the mood of the story. But anyway, we'll be back. We found it. Stanley Settlement, early 1800s. The most beautiful area I think I've ever been to in Georgia. Seriously. But the bugs, man. These bugs are ridiculous. What are you people doing up here? How do you live with this? They're buzzing in my eyes. They're buzzing in my ears. Trying to get up my nose. This is crazy. Well, hello and welcome back.
The bugs out here are horrible.
You literally need like a mosquito netting.
God almighty.
At least they don't bite. But they are invasive.
Well, welcome back. We are at the
Stanley Church.
Stanley Church. And this is part two
of the Tilley Bend Witch Stanley family feud.
There was a bug on me.
So, the reason why we came here today is because I think I might have uncovered why there was a feud. And it all started in September 2nd of 1864, when 6 members of the Tilley Bend community came up here and into this area and shot and killed the founder of the Stanley Gap community, Elijah, or it might be Elisha, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Stanley shot him on his porch. He was mending a shoe for his son, and his son, which was like a couple years, or like 2 years old, was beside him on the porch, and they shot through the woods and they killed Elisha, beat his daughter, like permanently disfiguring her.
This is very professional.
Yeah, I know, right? You can't help it. I mean, literally, y'all, they are like in our face.
You'll see them.
Yeah. But anyway, so that, I think that is what kicked off the feud.
That would be a good reason.
Right, and that happened before this church was even built. This church wasn't built until 1886.
Okay.
But Elisha is the first grave. He was the first grave in this cemetery That's your challenge. And then also we are here to see the arm of his son, Buell, who was actually the baby that was next to him when he got shot.
All right.
Buell lost his arm later on.
You told me it was in a fishing accident or something, right?
He was fishing with dynamite. So,
Well,
yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
It seems legit.
We'll find his arm and we'll find the first cemetery.
The first
First
grave.
First grave. I'm sorry,
looks
these
like
bugs have got me confused.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, they're bad.
Wait, the wind blew them out of our face.
For a second, could actually breathe. All right, so
Let's go see what we can
let's
find.
go see what we can find.
That's my challenge. Elijah.
Yeah.
I'll steal it.
She was pretty young. See, we should see some more of the infant mortalities too.
Right. The Harrison and Ada, the road's named after.
Oh, there's a picture.
Yep.
Hang on, I'm trying to get there. The cemetery's on a hill, y'all.
I'll take a picture for you.
I'm not a mountain goat like Tommy is.
I'll get the church in it too. That'd be a pretty picture.
Oh, yeah.
Check out that. What is that?
Yeah, I got one hung on my eyelash right now.
U.S. Army.
Oh, that's different.
There it is.
Oh, that one's pretty. It's not old, but it's pretty. And I do know that one of Elizabeth's daughters married into the Stanley clan, but she married a Thurman. Oh, look at her. She is precious. Here's one. Daughter, infant. That doesn't have a date on it, though. But anyway, she married a Thurman. And I cannot find any record of where she was buried at or where her husband was buried at, but that's the one when the Tilleys retaliated. They shot Elizabeth's son-in-law, and then that daughter died in childbirth. I think she was like 22.
There you go, bud. Good infant sister.
Yeah.
Infant twins. Infant.
I can't tell if that says 1917 or 1912.
Looks like 17 to 20.
Yeah.
3 years old.
Yep. So, kids. So that supports.
I thought that's what these were, but I think these are military.
Yes, yes. Infant.
Infant. Sorry, newborn man.
Yep. So these are all kids here too.
Alicia?
Yeah. Yep. Did you find it?
64.
Oh, he found it.
First grade at Stanley Cemetery.
Now you gotta find Buell's arm.
Well, it should be right here.
In my eye.
About right here.
He found it.
The arm of Buell Stanley, 1864 to 1946, and to 1915, caused by fishing with dynamite in the Tacoma River below Stanley Cemetery.
Sure we're not related? Oh boy.
Here's an infant son, Melbourne and Pearl Stanley's. June 1st, 1914 to June 7th.
It almost seems to me like they have more infant mortality. That's a military.
World War II. Bishop.
Let's see what this one says. Mandy J. Weeks was born 1852, died 1874. Man, these things get in your ear and start buzzing, and it about drive you crazy.
Oh, look at that. It's something you don't never hardly ever see. I don't know. Picture on that one. Picture on that one. Picture.
I love it.
I don't see that.
Yeah, I love it when they do that.
That much. I mean, I do too.
Man. Jane Stanley. I can't read. Do what?
11 years, 6 months, 4 days.
What year?
1941.
So this one, 1961, only lived a day. Or 10 days. Same family. When we get in the car, I'll elaborate more on why the shooting happened. I'm afraid to talk too much because
Get choked on the damn bug, you're gonna die.
I mean, we hadn't eaten lunch yet, and I'm hungry, but I'm not that hungry. This guy was World War II. Another World War II. Let's see if I can read this one. Nope, can't read it. Y'all, I'm not even joking. I have done so much research on this in the last week that I feel like between this church and the other one that these people are like family.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, there's mold. I read about mold. I'm just kidding. I didn't read about mold. But I do. It's just really bizarre that, you start researching these people's lives and you start connecting with them. Oh, that's a cool name, Brownlow. Brownlow and Jamia. Jamia? I don't know. This one was only 2 years old. I wish they had put dates on them though, because that helps me do my research, ghosts. 1922 to 1938. So, pretty young. Oh look, it's Lori height. Yep. A little bit. Looks like it's very cute inside. Okay, so this church was actually moved here from a different location in 1886.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Golly, have you ever?
Yeah. At the other cemetery.
Which we're heading back to now.
Yeah.
Hi, Ghost. Thanks for sharing your stories. Tom's over here squishing bugs that attach themselves to my hair. They're everywhere.
Man,
Why?
that's insane.
Why and what are they?
I think they're just nice.
How, oh my God.
But when I walked around the back of the church, there wasn't any. And as soon as I come back around the front, man, the things are.
Look, there's one in the car.
Killing
Look, they're following the car. I don't know if y'all could see that. So apparently what started this, why that shooting happened in 1864. The Stanley clan were Union sympathizers. And the people of Tilley Bend were for the Confederacy. So they, the people of Tilley Bend saw that there was some deserters, which appeared to be wearing a Union uniform, and they were walking through the woods, and they saw them on their way, like in this direction, and they assumed, I guess, that the Tilleys were, or that the Stanleys were going to be harboring these Union soldiers, because they were Union sympathizers. So they posted up in the woods at Alicia's house down off the Toccoa River and opened fire. And so I think that's what actually started it. Although there's been some talk that somehow moonshine got involved and some stuff too, which is very common in the North Georgia mountains. You'll hear a lot of moonshine murder stories. Remember, we had the one not too long ago. It was the Reverend that was hacked up by some moonshiners. But anyway, it was Tilley Bend, and that's what started everything. And then it began to escalate. The only thing that I can't really g-haul in my mind with is that the dates between the retaliations is what I don't really understand, because this happened in 1864, and then according to what I read, the Stanleys did not retaliate, did not go and shoot up the church until after the war had ended. So they let all that settle, and a couple of years went by, and then they showed up over there to retaliate, and then the Tilleys in turn come over and retaliated on top of that. So there's been apparently 3 different shootings that's happened back and forth between these settlements. But the time space in between just is weird, because whatever, I think the church massacre was the one that supposedly happened a couple of years after the war ended, and then it appears that the Tilleys waited another couple of years and went back to the Stanleys and opened fire there. So not really sure how that all worked out, and that the curse, you know, happened in 1905. No, 1904.
Yeah.
The curse happened in 1904, and she was hung in 1905. And so I don't really know. I don't know, but I did find some death certificates and stuff, and that kind of back up the claim, and I'll put a couple in, you know, how we do our end of the video montage or whatever. So back across this bridge, y'all remember this from last week's video. Back across this bridge, somewhere on one of these corners was where Elisha's cabin was, and it was torn down when they paved Aska Road and, you know, got this area, got more settled or whatever. But I really wish it was still standing. It'd be kind of cool, you know, to be able to see that, but it's not. Y'all imagine a little primitive cabin set out here in the 1800s, just out there trout fishing, minding your own business, and these dudes come and just start shooting. Yep, all you're doing is mending a shoe for your baby. Nope. Oh, fishing with dynamite. And it's probably happened somewhere along here, because this is where they lived. So riddle me this. There's Tilley Bend. We're stopped just right here. There's literally no bugs. What the hell? So we're back. And the bugs aren't here today.
They're not as, I mean, I see a few. Right now, they're not that bad.
So weird. I heard a woodpecker. Now I found Virgil's death certificate, and he died of pneumonia. And these boys were premature. I just heard something from the woods. E.C. Garland there, but he was the one who signed a lot of the death certificates for the children, and most of them were buried by their parents. There was no undertakers. Okay, so that's east. And what somebody had talked about in one of the articles I read was that it was obvious that her footstone had actually been moved so that she appeared to be facing east later on, but that actually she lays facing west. So I don't know. The bugs are here, they're just not nowhere near as bad. But it's so weird now coming back when I know some of the personal stories about these people. It's just a whole different vibe. Carl was an infant. I learned that. This one here that Tommy and I couldn't figure out what it was, that's another child. His name was Nervy. Although I will say that I found some discrepancies with dates, because they have one person as being dead in 1927 on the headstone, but the death certificate actually says 1900. This cemetery is only 88% cataloged. So I think that a lot of the victims of the church shooting or whatever got buried here unmarked, and that's what some of these white crosses and field stones are. But whoever has gone through and cataloged that 88 as 88% has done a fantastic job, because they've included death certificates and stuff like that. Makes me wonder about this also, because most of these were children and they don't have any markers, except no dates or anything except for that. But Bert Hickey was a child. There's not one on that one. Excuse me, Lois. Child. That one is, there's no information on the site about that one. I think that's a kid. But we do know that these are all children. And it primarily was the children of the people who participated in the Stanley Gap shooting. And there are a lot. But it almost seems to me, and maybe it's because there's probably plenty in here that are unmarked, but it almost seems to me that the Stanley crew actually lost more children. But I wish I could have a conversation with that guy, because he saw it all. And Frank was 5 years old. Sorry for the extreme close-up. welcome back.
So this trip here was a good tie-in from our last video.
Yeah.
We're able, because we questioned when we were up there, was there a Stanley, tribe?
But was it still there? And this it's actually surprisingly was not very easy to find because Stanley Gap is known for its hiking, biking, and walking trails.
Not for old 1800 churches.
Or, scandalous murders and stuff that happened. But apparently some of the old school is still there, but it's turned into a private residence. And,
right.
And there's a couple other little things that still exist from that, but have been made into homes.
This church and cemetery was a whole lot more organized, I'd say, than the other.
Yeah, it was.
But when he was buried there wasn't even a church here. His church was moved there. So.
Church didn't come until almost 20 years later.
21 years later, something like that. So.
But what I found the most fascinating about this whole thing was whether you believe in this type of stuff or not, coincidentally, and I'm not going to call out any family members, but coincidentally, it was the families who were involved in the shootings and the ones who were directly connected to hanging her that suffered the most of the infant mortalities.
Right.
It was those particular last names.
It wasn't everyone.
Also, I learned something new. I actually got to talk to a descendant. She was telling me that the tree was cut down. The original tree was cut down. So you were right about that.
Right.
They had taken down the old tree that they'd hung her from.
Right.
But if ever a place deserved to be haunted, and if ever a woman ever deserved to do the haunting, it would be there.
Yep.
Also, there's other things to note. If you're on Newsbreak, check us out. We got a channel on there now. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we upload new videos. Till next time, bye-bye. Stay spicy.